Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we continue our adventures on the high seas. More like we just finished discussing Morgan's latest sailing on Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took too long.
Yeah, too long is the name of this. No, just kidding. So we're gonna wrap things up in this episode. Thank you for staying on the boat, and we'll finish our sailing now.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered your entertainment. Should we talk a little bit about your dining experience?
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about restaurants. I'm sure you, in addition to your nightly dinner, which is like, I guess, the headline of the food, did you take advantage of any other eateries on board?
Like, you mean like the pizza or...
Yeah, like any of the stations.
So the stations on the Fantasy and, well, all of the ones pre the Wish are pretty limited, in my personal opinion. There's a pizza one, a pizza station. There's a station with like hot dogs and hamburgers, and then there's one with like salads and wraps.
Right.
But they're all mediocre. It's all like quick serve food.
Cafeteria vibes.
Yeah, I think it's more for and great for like kids. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much.
But I wasn't gonna, since I've experienced this already on other ships, I wasn't gonna waste stomach space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we did. For breakfast, we either did the sit-down breakfast or we did the buffet. Most of the time we did the sit-down breakfast.
Okay.
That's a personal preference. It's like, I think the buffet is great for people that have little kids and need to like get in, get out, get on with their day.
Feed a long mouth.
I like the experience of having a waiter serve me. If it's all the same to them, which it is.
Right.
Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I also am a bit of a germaphobe, and I feel safer in the table service situation than I do in a buffet where kids are maybe not like handling things in the way that you want.
Yeah, buffets are a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking about, I think we did breakfast like day 2 on at the buffet because of time, because the sit down restaurants for breakfast and lunch are only open for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's like a really small window. You got to get in there.
Which is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Every time you talk about that, it makes me think, why are these rules so strict? Is this a vacation or like a public school? What is going on?
Well, yeah, for this, I get they need to like reset.
Turnover.
Yeah.
I get it too, but then open it earlier.
Well, the crazy thing that I didn't know, because we never wanted to experience this, is we were watching a show and the person behind us was talking to somebody else. So I'm sorry that I eavesdropped. I didn't mean to, but
you were caught in the crossfire.
I just was there, and she's talking, and she
innocent bystander.
She was saying that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thanks. I feel bad.
I got you.
But she was saying that she was so frustrated that the buffet cabanas wasn't open at night because they've got little kids and they couldn't, these like really little kids.
Right.
And they're not going to sit through a show and sit through a sit down dinner. Like they just weren't, that just wasn't happening in their life.
Very relatable for a lot of families.
Can you believe? And I was sitting there thinking, oh honey, I'm sure it's open. I'm sure the buffet's open. It's not.
Heck no.
So your only option at night is a sit down dinner and a sit down show. You know what I mean? And
that's hard to believe.
I was saying to Michael that I guess they are so set on you doing these sit down dinners because they're so elaborate that they think that's like their bread and butter and that's what's going to make you want to come back. So they're forcing it on you. But like to give you no other option is crazy.
I definitely have heard from other friends who've taken cruises on different lines that that some of the dining systems are set up so that you have to choose the restaurants that you're going to go to, and if you don't choose or they run out of space or whatever, then you have to go and have dinner at the buffet.
Oh, that's so that I apart from Disney, I've sailed on Royal and Celebrity, and that hasn't happened to us, but I would be upset.
But what I am saying is that
it's open.
In those situations, I feel like a buffet alternative to the sit-down dinner just for anyone whose circumstances don't allow them to be sitting down at a like full service restaurant, which is like a you know, there are people who can't experience that. I feel like the buffet is like they shouldn't force you not to go to a buffet
I think it
alternative.
yeah, I think
I
it
don't
should.
care if it's their bread and butter to do dining
Yeah,
entertainment. You know
it's
what I
a
mean?
surprising choice on their part. I'm really surprised about it because the other thing is the buffet closes at 2 or 2:30. So it's not even like you well you could go to an early one. It's open till 5 or 4 or something. They're like the buffet on Disney Cruise Line is very small windows.
You'll take what
When
you get.
yeah, when I was on like Celebrity or Royal, the buffet was kind of open all the time.
And that's honestly one of the things that in my past cruises I've enjoyed
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most is just like if you do happen to be hungry, you can go get yourself
Right,
something and not
right.
have to worry about like the full dining
Or like me where I'm
experience.
like I'm not hungry but I could fit something so I'm going to.
And
Because
it's included.
yeah,
So here I go.
we for sure went like to the buffet to get some dessert type stuff at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night when we went on Celebrity.
It's another meal.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Right.
Yeah, those are good.
So that was shocking. Like the kind of forced little.
Is the cafeteria food open? Like the pizza
Yes.
and okay, well then
That's
I
it.
guess that's what they're
That's what they're saying. This is your alternative. You can go get a slice of pizza.
okay. Well, I think I have feelings about that. But...
Yeah, I don't love it either.
Okay,
I don't.
so...
And honestly, I had no idea because I would never miss a main dining experience because it is such a like unbelievable experience.
Yeah, and you guys have no problems with any of
Right. I don't have a little kid.
Yeah.
My kid is 17.
She can't sit there. What restaurants did you end up getting to do?
So we did the Animator's Palette was my favorite.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the other two are Enchanted Garden, which is by far my least favorite. I don't understand. So it's on one of the lower decks, deck 2. So it's got no views or anything. And it kind of feels like you're going into the basement because the atrium's on level 3 and it's like grand and open and like floors and floors up. And then you go down there and it's kind of low. And I don't know. You go in there and the theming is supposed to be like a garden. It's very, to me, Crystal Palace.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So like that those kind of gardeny chairs and like white, you know what I mean? And then
white iron.
Yeah. There's like plants or bushes painted on the walls and stuff like that. And then the like coloring changes, so kind of like you're going through a sunset when you're down there, which is cool.
Cute.
But it's very subtle. Like I think the first time we were down there, we didn't even notice that it happened. And then the lights are like flowers, and some of them kind of open as the night goes on, but also so subtle you'd really have to notice it. And it's not really like any specific movie themed or anything like that. So
an original Disney experience.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's very much like you could be anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was...
you mean anywhere non-Disney?
Yeah.
There was no IP.
Right. Exactly. There's no IP, but also it wasn't very special.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'm looking at a picture. It's very Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
That's definitely the one.
Yeah, Grand Floridian Cafe.
Right.
Yeah, which I love Grand Floridian Cafe.
Nice.
But this is in the place of what on the magic and the wonder is Tiana's.
Right.
And Rapunzel's. And that's mind blowing.
And there's no dinner show. There's no entertainment.
There's no show.
Why not, if you're gonna do an Enchanted Garden, why not have Alice in Wonderland and do an Enchanted Tea Party?
Yeah, something.
Or something. I don't know.
So
I don't understand how you could have well, I do understand. It's just, I would say, surprising when everything now is like super over the top IP injected.
Yeah.
No matter what. That this is what they would choose to create an original unthemed, well,
for real,
not unthemed, but like un-IP themed experience around. It's odd. They could put Jolly Holiday, a Mary Poppins
Yeah.
review in there.
And they really could. Yeah, that would fit right in.
That'd
So
be nice.
here's what, and this is speculation. If I had known about this topic today, I probably would have looked this up, although I probably would have forgotten. But we were talking about the different restaurant options on the dream and the fantasy, the one I just went on, versus the amazing, like I was talking about at the beginning of this episode, the amazingness that was the magic and the wonder with the Tiana and the Rapunzel restaurant. And I don't understand how they went from awesome to not awesome. You know what I mean? You'd think if you're building stuff later, it would just get better and better and better.
Yeah.
But, and somebody else will know this, or maybe you'll know this. Maybe the Tiana and the Rapunzel thing were added later.
See, I'm not thinking as much of a cruise line aficionado yet as I am like parks history.
Right.
But
and this is a cruise history question.
Yeah, that's a question for the cruise line historians. But
you'd imagine, right?
I could see it. Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Well, and actually, if you think about the timing, because those two ships were made in 1998. 1998 is when the Magic came out, and then 1999 is when the Wonder came out. I'm starting my cruise history knowledge, you guys. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So those two came out in 98 and 99 respectively, and then they don't look that old though. Like, I don't think I would sail on a 1998 Royal Caribbean boat, but
knowing that it probably hasn't been like completely refurbished.
Or I would at least look at when was the last time that this got a complete refurbishment, which you can find by Googling that. But the Magic did not seem like an old boat.
Right. It must have been refurbished.
Yeah. And I am kind of a snob when it comes to stuff like this. Like, when I go into a hotel room, if the carpet's worn out or, the paint's chipping or peeling, I notice that stuff and I'm like, ugh, like, should I have paid this much for this? But on the Magic, everything didn't look worn out. Nothing looked, so they clearly have been keeping up. And I know that cruises, especially Disney, are really good about like changing the carpet, like all the time. Like, I think we'd be shocked at how often they're changing the carpet.
Yeah.
It's always like immaculate. Like, there's never like a wear pattern, which is crazy.
That's something that things like that are things that people probably don't consider very much. I think you're someone who very much pays attention to the detail.
Yeah.
Not only
and especially with the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just because of that. You mean because that's like my personality?
No, because you're like very observant when it comes to like details and stuff.
Yeah.
In ways that some people aren't. And so when it comes to like, especially also like quality of product is something that we both pay a lot of attention to, like what the bang for your buck is. And it's cool that they're putting in like hidden ways of ensuring your quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the quality of your trip. That's cool.
Right.
Like that they're tearing out carpet all the time and putting new carpet in to make sure that you don't feel like you've got a rundown carpet. Like, wow, that's like the royal treatment. I love it.
It really is. It really is.
I feel that's very fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel like you're getting good bang for your buck, I would imagine.
That's exactly. And with cruising in general, Disney cruising in general, I feel like the value, which is what is so important to us, is really there because of everything you get. Like, this is just how my brain works. So I take the price of it and then divide it by the amount of days. And then I'm like, what would I have spent on a hotel, a nice hotel, a transportation, breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a sit-down restaurant for 3 people. You know what I mean? Like, and then see if it adds up, and it just does. It just does. Yeah. I know it's more expensive in the summer, and that's generally so far I haven't gone in the summer. Yeah. Because of that, but yeah. Sometimes it's more expensive than others.
Yeah, because obviously a lot of the destinations are very, a lot of the destinations out of Port Canaveral are very like tropical. Yeah, well,
really what it's about is the school schedule.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like even the week, demand. So the week of Thanksgiving, the Christmas break, even when you're getting close to the span of spring breaks and all of summer, those prices like not double, but like practically double.
Makes sense.
If you can avoid the school schedule, like then do it.
Yeah.
I was talking about taking a Christmas cruise, Disney cruise with my parents at some point, and my mom's a school teacher, and I'm like, not until you're done teaching.
Yeah.
Because it's the weeks that
actual Christmas.
Yeah, actual Christmas
actual
or the week
break.
after.
Yeah.
When kids are out of school, prices are like $1,000, $2,000 more than they are at the beginning of December. I'm like, let's just wait and do it at the beginning of December.
Yeah.
And save ourselves $2,000. It's crazy.
Sheesh.
It's not like a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good travel tip.
That's true of flights. That's true of hotels at Disney World.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just true across the board. Yeah. School holidays will.
Yeah. All right. So Enchanted Garden.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. Enchanted Garden, Animator's Palette,
and Royal Court.
Oh, what's
so Royal Court is in basically in the atrium. When you walk in the atrium and there's this big chandelier above you, it's right there to the left.
Okay.
It is lightly themed to like princess themed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's not, and I say that because I'm comparing it to Rapunzel and Tiana's and Frozen. It's not like a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like floor to ceiling princesses, but there are pictures and mosaics of the princesses on the wall.
Okay.
There are there might be, I can't remember which one this was in, whether it was, because this basic restaurant, this Royal Court restaurant, is in all 4 of the older ships.
Okay.
In the atrium, you know?
Got you.
Not in the atrium, but like basically.
Is it like a Cinderella royal table vibe where the princesses come out, walk around, and say hi?
No. Okay. There's no characters. But yes, in that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And the other one is not a dinner.
There's no There's no characters at dinner. At any dinners.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
This is the only cruise ship like that in Disney's arsenal, right? Everybody else at least has
these two sister ones, the Fantasy and the Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Yeah. I was just going through it, like, just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. No, I'm not forgetting anything.
It's Enchanted Garden on both, or it's another unthemed something on the
It
other
might be called something different.
Oh,
I was trying to pull this up.
It's still odd that on this whole cruise ship there's no like either musical dining or character dining, because those are things.
Well, they had so on this one you had the option to pay for a Woody's Roundup breakfast with those characters, and that's a Pixar thing.
That's different.
And I think but it's paid for. You have to pay extra.
Yeah,
but on the Magic and the Wonder, you get a character meal included.
That's what I mean.
And on the Wish.
Why do you have to pay for one?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree.
That feels like a little bit of a lost value on this compared to others.
Right.
Interesting if you're trying to pick a cruise ship.
Yes. Exactly.
It's unfortunate, but it's true. Like, if you're comparing them across the board, you've got to think about the value.
Well, and since dining is such an important part to me, and I think to most people,
I feel like you expect to eat with characters on a Disney cruise because Disney has made it so signature to the brand, Chef Mickey's and all that. Like, you just picture it.
It's shocking to me that it's not there.
It's very strange. I'm surprised to hear it. I was kind of waiting to hear who you met at dinner. Yeah,
no, we met characters, which was nice. Like on not even on Pixar Day at Sea, the day after Pixar Day at Sea, I got to sign up, which is essentially getting a fast pass for going to meet some Incredibles characters.
Cool.
We didn't know who they were going to be. It wound up being Mrs. Incredible and Edna Mode, which these 2 characters were in the firework show, and they're not like what we have at the parks. At the parks, it's like what's it called? Like a helmet that shows
head,
their
like a felt head.
Like their head.
Yeah,
that has the animated head face on it, right? Mm-hmm. These are people dressed as the characters with like a wig and the whole deal, and doing like the accent.
Face characters.
Doing the accent and everything.
Wow.
And I think these are the only 2 that they felt like they really kind of got right.
Mr. Incredible would have to be in a suit.
And he was in the show. Yes, and he was in the show. Those 2 were in the show, so maybe they were there sometimes, but they didn't. Frozone looked great.
Yeah.
The Mr. Incredible the way that he's drawn is so
Bulky.
unrealistic.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what
like
I
a
mean? He's a
triangle.
triangle. They did.
Yeah.
We're like, oh no, you didn't
Did they
really.
try to give him like padded muscle
Yeah,
suit
they
vibes?
did, but they didn't do it in a way that made it convincing at
Well,
all.
that's
I feel
unfortunate.
like I feel like they even padded Mrs. Incredible a little bit, like
Of course.
around the hips and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was a little surprised about that, but that is her shape.
Like a drag queen, basically.
Yeah, like
They
because she
padded
had
them
that,
up.
yeah, that pear shape that Mrs. Incredible has a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that to provide uniformity across the different people playing Miss Incredible, that they want to like control as much as they can.
Yeah.
Hair, body shape,
yeah,
down to, you know.
yeah.
I get it.
But
it probably is a little bit weird to see as like without compared to what we're used to. We're used to full felt at the
man,
parks,
is it felt?
like well, whatever,
What?
full.
I just assumed plastic, but I haven't really gotten up close with them
right.
in the parks.
But,
I've just seen them from afar.
But full body costume.
Yeah.
So then to see like a body like enhancement based costume,
yeah,
it's definitely different vibes.
Oh yeah, it was different, and they were doing the accent. Yeah, it was.
How was the Edna Mode accent?
Her accent was probably her accent was good, but she was the actress cast member. Is that what
Sure.
we're going with?
Yeah.
I know there's another name when you're like a performer, right?
Doesn't entertainment character. Yeah.
She was like doing where she like throws her head back and walks with her like hands up like this in such a caricaturish way that it was a little off-putting. But like I guess I was like, they're not wrong. She's not wrong.
Right.
That is kind of how the character walks in the movie, but it looks so crazy ridiculous on a real human being.
Yeah.
That it's like
kids probably really like it.
Yeah. And really, it's like I said, it's not wrong. It's just weird. It's just weird to see a real human being doing this.
I can imagine.
Like her head was like straight up facing this sky, and her hands were in front of her like a rabbit. And I guess that's kind of like how she
go to the YouTube.
And then she's scooting, like scooching, not walking.
Yeah.
The YouTube of what?
I'm telling our listeners to go to the visual version of the podcast so that they can
see me doing it.
See you doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was surprising. It was like, okay, you're doing that.
That's well, it sounds like you took a lot of good cruise ship memories home.
Yeah. Well, so we got to see characters there. That was a fast pass. For the rest of the characters, you mainly had to wait in a really long line to see them. Although occasionally, like on the Jamaica day, we didn't go out. So there were a few just walking around, and I got a picture with Tiana, and I didn't have to wait in line. Cool. It was like nobody even knew she was there.
Yeah, like
that was cool.
Disneyland in the old days.
Yeah,
they just walk around.
Yeah, but on actual at sea days, like Pixar Day at Sea, and they were scheduled to be out, like Mike Wazowski and Sully, and that the lines were like an hour long.
No,
it's crazy. So no. I didn't do that, and yeah, there wasn't characters at the meals.
Interesting. So, what would you say if you could pick a couple? Like, how were the pools and slides and stuff? Good, cool.
Yeah, good. The
which aqua? What is?
It's Aqua Duck.
Oh, that's the first one.
No, it's the second one. The first one's Aqua Dunk.
Aqua Duck.
Yeah. So this one. So I didn't actually go on it, but I've been on it on the Dream. It was cold. It was cold. And we planned a time to go out to go on it, and they were closed. Oh. It didn't open until 2 on non-at-sea days.
It's like the Finding Nemo musical all over again.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was all in swimsuit and everything, ready to go, and but so that one is like it's a water coaster, but on the Wish it's a water coaster plus screens. Right. So obviously on the Wish it's better. You know what I mean?
More themed.
Yeah.
And all
yes,
things.
exactly. Yeah. But it's still a good slide. The pools were the same. They're pretty small. They're pretty uneventful, but good for little kids. And then they've got the adult only area, which was nice. And they had some like mist, the misters going, like, and hot tubs and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and I won the spa raffle.
Really?
Yeah, did I not text you?
No.
I won the spa raffle. So
Tell people about
we
this.
always go. I always say we're just gonna go. We're gonna try. This isn't the lottery. It's you versus like the other 50 people
Uh-huh.
that took the time to come listen to their spiel about the spa.
Uh-huh.
You have to stand there for 20 minutes out of day one. A lot of people don't do it. It's so legit, like 40, 50 people. And we always do it, and I've never won. And I was like, oh well, 20 minutes, it's fine.
Right.
And I won this time. So that was phenomenal.
What did you win? What are your prizes?
A $50 gift certificate to the spa.
And what did you take advantage of?
Yeah.
Oh my
I got a
God.
massage. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and definitely not something I was going to do otherwise. So they still did make a little bit of money off of me because you still have to pay the difference.
Yeah, but still.
But I mean, I'm not gonna not do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're wasting.
I won $50, so it was nice. It was nice.
That's a nice chunk off of a massage.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always said we've got to do it because it's not you're not it's not up. You're not up against that many people.
Yeah,
but I really
odds
didn't expect to win.
Yeah, that's really cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
You deserve a massage.
That was
great.
Cool.
That's awesome. Talk about a unique experience.
Yeah. Oh, and we did the tour. I think everybody should do the tour. It's called the Art of the Theme Tour. And they kind of take you around and show you different things. And it's like she explained how this one is, the theming is like Art
Nouveau.
Thank you.
You got it.
And like just shows you little things. Like there's a big picture painting of like Remy and Emile, and it's like it's set in Paris, and that is right up at the floor, like the stair landing before you get up to where Remy and Paolo are, which are the fine dining adult only restaurants.
You could pay to dine with Remy.
Yeah, or Paolo. Yeah. Well, you're not the character though.
Yeah. Oh wait, isn't that a thing? Maybe that's at a theme park somewhere else, where like Remy comes around and
is that Paris?
I don't know.
So there's this big picture, and it's got Remy and Emile and the Eiffel Tower, and their shadow is like way the flip over on the other side of the painting. But their shadow is not of two rats, it's of Walt and Mickey. It's the partner statue shadow. Isn't that wild?
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not super obvious, but when they point it out, it's like, this makes sense. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, and they point out the carpet and how what means what. Like the stars on all Disney cruises, there are stars in the carpet that are pointing to the front of the ship. In case you're ever like, am I going to the front or the back? You know what I mean? Because you get really turned around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was cool. That's an hour-long thing. It is a thing that is for adults only.
It's free, yeah?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. You just have to like go. And it was hard for this one. There were only 4 options of when to go. They did it twice on both scheduled at sea days. Did I tell you we got a non-scheduled at sea day?
No.
I'll tell you in a minute. But on both scheduled at sea days, there was a 9 and a 2. So we did have to like give up some stuff. Like that day we ate breakfast at the buffet, which I didn't want to do, but we did, and it was fine.
Okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, well, good.
And the breakfast,
at least you got some use out of that buffet.
The breakfast at the sit down isn't mind blowing either.
Oh, okay.
So
no big loss.
The sit down breakfast, the menu never changes. So it's like there's like 10 things. It's like
eggs.
Yeah.
Omelet.
Well, French toast. Yeah. Omelet. Yeah. Exactly.
Pancakes. Yeah.
Yeah. Pancakes. Exactly. So there are like those 10 things, and it never changes. So there aren't really a bunch of options, and it's like
whatever.
But I still like it. I love the little cups of coffee. Like those little. They're like 8 ounces, and it's like.
Oh yeah, cute.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Oh gosh. Where were we? We were talking about.
I was talking about the tour. Oh, and the at sea days.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So you have to make some
tour,
concessions to do the tour because it was at 9 and 2. On the Wish, if you go on the Wish, that one you've got to like go to guest service isn't asked to be added to the tour.
Hmm.
They don't even like publish it as an option, which is very strange.
Wow.
Still free.
Probably popular.
Yeah, still free.
Had to control
On
the
some
fucking...
other cruise lines, it's not free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that it's free.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the free activities I would take advantage of just to get more appreciation out of the experience itself, because pointing out all those cool details and the shit makes you appreciate it.
Exactly.
So
and you know it's Disney and they do all these details, so you want to see them.
And you probably missed
you don't have
something,
time.
and
Yeah.
You don't even know it.
You don't have time to see them, to go like look for all the details. It's
Right.
not possible.
Yeah.
Another free thing that I think a lot of people don't do, maybe they do, I don't know, is they open up the kids area for an open house for like a few hours every here and there. The kids area is amazing. It's like mind-blowingly amazing.
They're all so cool.
Yeah. There's Andy's room.
Club?
Yeah, Oceaneer Club.
Yeah.
And Lab.
Right.
And those are separate. We had to go to them separately. So we went to the Oceaneer Club on one day and the Lab on another day. But the club is like where it's at, because the one room, it's like no joke, like you're walking into Andy's room.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff, everything is just exactly like it would be, and to scale and everything. And
really cool.
Except for RC, he's giant because you can sit in him.
Oh. Yeah, that's cool. I love like highly themed kids areas. I feel like are a must if you're going to be Disney and have a cruise ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool to see them fulfilled nicely.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that it's there for the kids, but like I feel like adults would really appreciate seeing it, because it's like
all the detail.
Yeah, and I mean, Toy Story original is like my childhood.
Oh yeah.
So being able to walk into a movie that was really big when I was a kid is like amazing.
Yeah, that's an experience that they go for, whether theme park, cruise ship, to have that moment of wow, I'm in the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's kind of shocking to me that this like really the most immersive area on the boat is just for kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that highly themed kind of thing. That's something that you also get at like the Frozen show, the Tiana, like the dinner show. Yes. So now that you don't have that option, it's weird a little bit that the most themed experience is the kids clubs.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. But I mean, great for the kids.
Great for them. But like there are things in there that like you and I would be like just fangirling over, and the kids don't even get it.
Don't even care.
They don't get it. Yeah. Like a lot of this stuff is like older references, like way before a 5-year-old's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really glad they give us as adults the opportunity to go like look around in there.
Yeah, that is cool that they like,
and they'll let you play the games and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, as two big kids, I feel like that would definitely appeal to us. I see what you did.
Yeah.
All right, what was your favorite thing that you did?
Goodness.
If you had to pick one.
I don't know.
Or a couple.
Actually, I didn't even get to this, but we wound up going to Paulo for brunch.
Oh, you did? Cool.
We did. Paulo is an extra cost activity, but it was our anniversary. It's like $40 a person.
Really nice, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really nice. We did that on our anniversary, and the food there is so mind-blowing. I say this a lot, I guess, but the food there is so phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, great.
Really,
I'm glad
really
you
amazing.
enjoyed it. That was definitely a highlight for you then.
Yeah.
It's great that they continue to provide like great experiences every time you go.
Yeah. Oh, and one of our stops, we weren't actually able to stop. That was what I was going to say. It was like an impromptu at sea day.
Right.
So when we got to Grand Cayman, that is an island. It's a tender port, so you don't dock at a dock and then you walk off the boat. You have to get off your boat and get on a smaller boat and be taken to where you can get off. Mm-hmm. And the water was too choppy for that, so they had like an impromptu at sea day, which for us, we didn't care because I'm there for the boat. But there are a lot of people that were upset. They did make up for it really well. Like if this ever happens to you in the future, you don't have to worry about them leaving the activities the way they were scheduled. They like add a ton of activities. So they're like prepared for it. They added another either another juggling show or another magician show. They added a ton of trivia. They, I think, opened the restaurants a little longer, so they got prepared for they were ready in case
Yeah,
it happened, which was nice.
that's good.
Um, yeah, the only negative effect it had on us was that like everybody was still on the boat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Busy.
it's a lot of times if you choose to not get off the boat, you like kind of have the boat to yourself, and
Run
it's
of
nice.
the boat.
Yeah, you could go like on the slide a bunch of times and not have to wait in line. You can
Mm-hmm.
see characters, like I said, and not have to wait in line.
Those are the best times on the boat.
Yeah, yes. And you can just walk around and observe stuff. That's the best.
Yeah.
So we kind of lost a day of that
Right.
because everybody else was stuck on the boat and a little grumpy. But
Yeah.
it's something that you've got to be understanding about because they don't control the weather.
And what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Nothing. Complain. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just it's an interesting thing to just kind of bear in mind as something that might happen when you're on the boat.
Yeah,
I hadn't even considered it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't know prior to getting on the boat because we hadn't been to Grand Cayman before that was a Tinder port.
Right. It's not like that's like the features that you're really,
yeah,
Yeah,
and I just didn't even consider it. I didn't even consider it, but I'm fine with it.
It's also because it's not like you were there specifically for Grand Cayman.
Right. But from now on, when I take cruises, I'm going to make sure I'm being aware. Like if there's something we want to do, we're really excited about, just like, hey, just so we know, it could not work
It's not a tender
out.
port.
Yeah. So just to keep
Great travel tip.
Yeah, keep expectations.
Is one of your destinations at a
Tinder port versus
Tinder port?
non? Yeah.
All right, hey. I feel like we've got a lot of great cruise information. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
No, I feel like I talked about Castaway Cay last time, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just go over briefly kind of what it is.
I mean, it's Disney's private island. They just bought another one,
Right.
So I'm really excited to see what they do with that.
This is like a very highly rated Disney Cruise Line experience. People really, really enjoy Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
It's what I always hear about when I ask people how they've enjoyed their Disney cruise. They always talk about Castaway Cay. What are some of the things that you can do on the Cay?
So there's a lot of activities that you can do, like snorkeling.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. Snorkeling there is really phenomenal because they sunk a bunch of stuff like a Dumbo ride car and stuff like that you can see.
Is the Nautilus still out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
And it's one of the real ones from Magic Kingdom.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing.
Since ours didn't get turned into Nemo.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have So our 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea attraction that was closed and then sat abandoned for years and then was eventually turned into New Fantasyland. The ride vehicles, there aren't that many that remain. A lot of them were scrapped, but they have one that circulates for events. They have one at the archives, and then they have one at the bottom of the water.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's so cool. They should just do that with everything they don't want anymore.
Sink it.
Yeah. I mean, there are statues you can see and stuff. So it's like a one-of-a-kind experience. You know what I mean?
Snorkeling in the boneyard.
Yeah.
I
Very
love it.
cool. You can just lay on the beach. There are a bunch of you could paraglide?
Or glide.
Glide?
I have no
know.
idea.
I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
Let's
ask the guy on Soarin' next time we go.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are we doing? I'm sure they say.
What are you doing up there?
Anyway, a lot of people go on bike rides around the island.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, you can do a 5K. There's a trail.
I'm good.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
But that is cool that you can. But oof.
We did part of it. Not this time, but not the time before, but the time before that maybe. And there's a place where you get to where you can go up and look over the whole island, like a lookout point type. Yeah. Not for me. Like heights, and it just didn't feel. I just didn't. Yeah. I wasn't my thing.
Not your vibe.
But we got there. I stayed down there and walked back. It was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't as awesome as I thought it might be, but I know a lot of people do that. It might be more fun on a bike because you're going fast.
Yeah, I just like a nice casual bike ride.
Yeah.
Um,
But just having a beach day on a beach where you're not worried about like people
yeah.
harassing you or trying to sell you stuff
Hmm.
is cool.
Yes, and okay, and the reason that you're saying that is because sometimes at the ports of the actual destinations that are not owned by Disney, sometimes like local merchants and vendors and stuff, that's a thing that happens, right? Is that
Oh yeah.
sometimes you get like kind of rushed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, yes. I think that at almost all the ports
Yeah.
that aren't owned by Disney, there's a level of harassment when it comes to I mean, and I mean that in like a not you
It's like an expected harassment kind of
yes,
way
yeah.
almost. Like you know that's what is
A
gonna happen.
hard sit, a
It's like
hard
when you're
sell.
walking through the mall and those people at the
Yeah,
kiosks are barking.
it is like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that, except for sometimes more so.
Yeah, they gotta
There,
get up in your face.
yeah, and I have heard stories of people having like an iguana thrown on them, and then the person demanding money for letting them have their iguana or whatever. It's crazy.
Interesting how we all do business.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when we got off at Cozumel. I'm like, does this work?
Yeah.
Is anybody like, oh yeah, since you're yelling at me, I'll come buy something.
Which one of us is gonna buy an iguana?
It's crazy.
Oh my god!
I don't get it. I don't
so that
get
didn't
it.
happen to you?
No, yeah, that's what I love about Castaway Cay is that's definitely not going to happen to you. That you the first thing you get
man.
there are characters in like beachwear,
Oh, cool.
which is fantastic.
Cute.
Yeah, super cute.
So it's like an ideal little beach day.
Yeah,
That sounds nice.
it's an ideal beach day for sure. Yeah, and there are things about beaches in Florida that I don't love as much, like a bunch of drunk people or mostly naked people. You don't get any of that either.
Gotcha.
So if that's something that bothers you, this is a Disney cruise, so you're not
family oriented.
yeah, family oriented. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That sounds like, I mean, I feel like that would always be a highlight anytime you're stopping at Castaway Cay.
Yeah, and there's 3 different beaches. So the first 2 are family and the third one's adult only. So if you don't want screaming children, you could go there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more like music and drinks type of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people like that in
Yeah.
beach day as well. Something for everybody, it seems.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I won't ask you to rank all of them. We're pushing that one away.
Well,
to next
I
time.
will say that the fantasy and dream are at the bottom of my list because of the restaurant thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
I was going to say that earlier. The Wish is just, since it's brand new, it was done so well.
Oh yeah, it's state of the art.
Yeah, and then after the Wish, I would say the Magic. So I can kind of rank them.
So you did get it figured out.
No, but well, originally what you said was between the fantasy and the dream,
Yes.
and I can't.
They're
Those
too
two,
similar.
they're too similar.
Yeah.
I can't. Those 2 are just going to be like at the bottom of my
Tied.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Tied
not
for
to
last.
say that I won't go on them again or didn't like it. I did. Just the restaurant show dining experience, I cannot believe they don't have it, and for me that's such a huge thing.
Right. But even so, I'm sure you would still rather sail on this than several other cruise lines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 1,000,000%. So I'm in no way dissing it.
Right.
But because the Wish is so amazing, it's going to be at the top for me.
And it should, imagine
It should
if
be.
their latest cruise line was the most lackluster.
Yes.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But then underneath that is the Magic, because that was my first cruise ever was on the Magic.
Cute.
And because they have the dinner show.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, the Wonder because of the dinner show. And then these 2. But
Right.
not bad. Still, we had an amazing, amazing, amazing week.
Yeah.
And I would go back on it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I hope at some point they add some sort of a dinner show, because they have 2 of their 3 dining experiences are meh. You know what I mean? Like, the food's still good. It's just not Disney.
And if they're forcing you into like these like dining experiences, like they're not letting you go to the buffet,
Right.
then like I would hope there would be some like cool theming or great entertainment or something worth forcing people into an experience for.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say the word forcing because you could go get the pizza.
You could.
You could
You
go
could
get a wrap.
and you could get room service. They offer free room service,
Right.
which is wild.
That is wild. Probably something that people do you know Disney Cruise Line nails? I didn't even know.
Yes, yeah, some of them are worn off. But so
Oh,
I got
cute.
stickers, Disney Cruise Line, see how much they're worn off.
Oh,
But
I see.
this is like a base white sticker, and then I have stickers I got it from Amazon that
Oh,
I
cool.
put over it, and then I put
top coat.
yeah, but it still wore off.
Well,
it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I was gonna say a week out of them is not bad.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was fun. I meant to post something on Instagram to show you. I will post it.
Nice.
So you guys can see my nails.
Look forward to that on the Neverland Navigation.
Yeah, look forward.
Neverland Navco Instagram account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just trying to tell them what our Instagram account was.
Yeah, good job. Good job. I forget what I was saying before that.
We were talking about the restaurants, and how because they're not themed or entertainment.
Oh yeah, room service.
IP themed. Oh yeah, we were saying that that's probably a good travel tip.
Yeah, it is a good. Yeah, right. And they don't really super advertise it that that's free, but you do need to tip the person that brings it, which
adds up.
I mean, it's just something to consider. So it's not totally free because, like, if you go to the buffet or the main dining room, of course you're already tipping them. Yeah. So that's just something, but it's great, especially like I could see myself ordering like coffee for breakfast and having room service come and do that.
Right.
We didn't this time, but it's just because it just didn't happen to. It didn't happen to be necessary with our schedule.
Yeah. Well, great.
Yeah, but that is cool.
That is cool. I think that's definitely a valuable option.
Yeah.
Even if it's, you have to pay a little gratuity.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. I think we've covered all the dining.
All right. Great. Well, unless there's anything else you want to cover, I think that's about going to wrap it up. I feel like this has been, every time we cover one of these, cruise ships, it definitely makes me want to take a vacation.
Yeah.
I know you're just getting back from one. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's a nice long vacation, 7 days.
Yeah.
A nice voyage. If you've enjoyed this episode, you should check out our previous cruise line episodes.
Oh yeah.
We've covered a lot of different cruise information in those. We've covered a bunch of different ships. When they announced the Disney Treasure, we did a whole little special talking about our hopes, our expectations, what we think about the plans. So that's a
Halloween at the High Seas. That was one of them.
Oh yeah, that was fun to cover Halloween on the High Seas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cruise content that you could check out. Also, you could just subscribe. That would be awesome. On our listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora. If you subscribe to the show, then you'll be able to see our new episodes in your feed every week. And if you could leave us a review. Oh boy. If you could leave us a review letting us know that you enjoyed the show or leaving us 5 stars, and that would be awesome.
That would really help us out. Yeah. And then you already covered the Instagram account, right? Yes. So we also have an Etsy. It's called Neverland Navigation, where we can make you a cruise shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love the cruise wear.
Do you want to cast the shopping on the cruise?
Well, or just, I love all of the, I don't know. I just love the vibe of cruise.
Oh, people in their cruising attire?
Yeah. And the custom shirts that people ask for sometimes that will have the ship name and your family and a design. There's a bunch of different designs you could choose from. You have to send us a message.
Do you want a Castaway Cay shirt?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's kind of, it's Bahamas. It's kind of Castaway Cay.
Yeah, I don't have a Disney Cruise Line shirt.
I'm going to make you a Disney Cruise Line shirt.
We're working on it. But in the meantime, I wore my Jungle Cruise shirt because it's still a cruise.
Yeah.
I could have worn It's a Small World. But I don't even have one, I don't think. But I wore this one from the Neverland Navigation Etsy shop, and it's one of my favorite shirts because it's so soft and the vintage poster design wears really nicely with the color of it, so it stays looking nice.
Yeah.
Which I think is a benefit of them. So if you want a t-shirt, then check out the Neverland Navigation Etsy shop. And until our next cruise, just kidding. Until our next whatever, we'll see you on our next adventure. Bye.
But not the adventure, because That one's not coming out for years.
No, no, no. That's on the horizon.